Hello, and welcome to Cheers. That's One Woman's Opinion podcast. Today we'll be looking at Cheers Season 1, Episode 4, Sam at 11. Before we start, I would just like to disclose with my listeners, since this is also on YouTube and people are watching, that I have autism, formerly Asperger's, but now it's autism spectrum disorder. And the reason I'm sharing is because I've noticed when taping these that I rock, which I've never really noticed much before until I actually watched myself on video. So I wanted to let you know why that was happening. And now let's go ahead and start with our episode. This episode was directed by James Burrows. It was written by Glenn Charles, Les Charles, and James Burrows. The guest cast: Fred Dreyer as Dave Richards, Paul Vaughn as customer number one, and I'm hoping I'm not butchering this name because I'm not quite sure how to say it, but I believe it's Epin Methai as the recordist, Michael Mann as the guy, Harry Anderson as Harry the Hat. Harry Anderson is probably best known for his own TV show, Night Court, where he played Judge Harry T. Stone. Sadly, Anderson died in 2018 following a stroke. And John Ratzenberger as Cliff Clavin. Go ahead and go into the summary. In the cold opening, Harry the Hat comes in and orders a beer. Coach says he's not allowed to serve Harry, so Harry says that the beer is for a friend. He then shows Coach a note from friend, which says one beer. I often wonder if this note that Harry did was came from the show Welcome Back, Kotter, where I think it's about his name. Sorry, not Vinny, not Horseshack. Oh, I can't think of his name. Hold on one second. Epstein, right? A note from Epstein's mother, where Juan Epstein would always have notes that his mother wrote, and they were actually signed Love Epstein's mother instead of his mother's name. From Epstein's mother, not Love, sorry. Because this kind of reminds me of that concept where he has a note, and he's the one that, of course, wrote the note. Anyway, Coach decides it must be legit if there's a note from the friend and gets Harry the beer. Harry gives Coach a $10 bill because he doesn't have $1, which is what Coach said the beer cost. Coach gives Harry the change. Then Harry finds a $1 bill and has Coach give him the 10 back. Then he tells Coach he doesn't want to carry all that change around and has Coach give him a 20. Sam comes out of the office, sees Harry, and says, "Nobody move." Sam tells Coach that Harry is shortchanging him. Harry offers to give Coach a $30 bill to make it even. Coach asks Sam if that's okay, and Sam informs Coach there's no such thing as a $30 bill. He kicks Harry out of the bar, but after telling Harry to return his watch. According to the Internet Movie Database, Sam leaves the office without a watch, so there was no watch to begin with. Just a little trivia there. Where Everybody Knows Your Name plays. Oh, I have a hearing aid. I'm deaf in this ear and I'm hard of hearing in this ear. So I was just adjusting my hearing aid if you're wondering why I was playing with my ear there. Norm comes in and Sam points out that Norm is late. Norm tells him that Vera took him to a mortuary to make arrangements for their funerals. And then he says that he's going to be cremated when he dies. Diane comes into work. She is also late because she was talking to her art history teacher about impressionism and now believes she fully understands it. I love how Norm's not a worker, so it's actually rare for him to be late. But workers, as we'll see throughout the series, they basically come in late, leave when they want. It's not the best way to run a business. But so she says she thinks she fully understands impressionism. Carla says, "Do Kirk Douglas." Diane then apologizes to Sam again, ignoring Carla. The phone rings and it is for Coach. It's his old friend Walt. Coach tells Walt that he's glad he got through the operation because he didn't think Walt was going to make it. Then he learns Walt's surgery is tomorrow. This scene cracks me up every time I see it. I don't know what it is about it. Coach Nicholas Colasanto does that perfectly. Dave Richards, a sportscaster, enters. He is a friend of Sam's and immediately hits on Diane. He tells her, not only am I incredibly good looking, but I'm also incredibly rich and incredibly nice. Sam comes out of his office during this and adds, and incredibly married. Diane says, I'm sorry to hear that. I was hoping to reject you solely based on your personality. It's actually funny because we're going to find out, and I try not to give too much away in future episodes, but in the Rebecca years, Dave hits on Rebecca too. So it's interesting because they kind of have similar outlooks, Diane and Rebecca, on this particular guy. Dave tells Sam he wants to interview him for the 6 o'clock news. Sam doesn't know why, since he hasn't played ball in years. He says Sam owes him a favor. He explains that Sam once borrowed too young, and then Sam sees Diane and says, dollars, yes, $2 young. I hate when they're crinkly. Carla tells Sam that he should do it, and it would be good for business. The others, all except for Diane, agree with Carla. Sam asks Diane to go speak with him in the pool room. He asks Diane what her problem is. She tells him the where are they now things are very depressing. I watch a lot of where are they now things with actors. Not so much sports stars, which Sam is, but with actors, I like to watch them. Same concept. I actually enjoy watching them. I don't find depressing unless there's something wrong, like something happened with that actor, drugs, etc. But for the most part, I enjoy seeing how they turned out. She says she feels sorry for them when former is added to an athlete, such as former ball player Sam Malone. And she does not want to feel bad for Sam. Dave is sitting at the bar trying to say, I'm going to see if I can say it, trying to say Martina Navratilova. I hope I said that right. I used to practice her name a lot when I was younger, but it's been a while, just because of this episode. Sam comes back into the ballroom. Sorry. Whoops. Sam comes back into the bar room and tells Dave he will do the interview. Dave says he will be back in 20 minutes. Carla tells Dave that it's about time they got around to Mayday. He tells her that he had several others lined up, but they all canceled. She says, but Sam was the first retired guy you thought of. Dave is about to protest when she grabs him by the shirt and asks again. And as we see here, people fear Carla because Dave then tells her the very first. And she replies, he's honored. Diane overhears this and looks concerned. Harry the Hat is back in the bar, practicing his new floating coin trick. He's like, going like this. Harry Anderson actually is a magician. In fact, he has said before that he prefers doing magic to acting, and he actually left acting at some point to go back to magic. He used to be on Saturday Night Live in the 80s, I want to say. I don't think it was in the first 5 years. I think it was just in the 80s. And he would do magic tricks. Amazing magician. So anyway, he is actually using it to con Norm out of $10. In fact, I once saw an interview, speaking of the magic that Harry Anderson did, in an interview, he once said that he made a living out of conning people. He quickly says, you're going to give me $10 if I cannot do it. Norm agrees, and of course, Harry can't do it. Norm tells him, you just got stuck with $10. Norm is then upset when he realizes what happened, and he yells to Coach, who comes from the back. He is followed by Sam. Harry says he's leaving and thanks the owner of a Honda for the ride. A man chases after Harry to get his keys to his car back. Norm tries the floating coin trick con game on Coach, but Coach is not interested. So apparently, every so often, Coach is a tad bit smarter than the other members of the bar. Carla is telling Sam what his greatest moment of playing ball was. And I love the fact that other people are telling Sam what his greatest moment was instead of letting Sam do it himself, which partially because Sam was so drunk half the time while he played ball, he actually does not remember a lot of it. Coach disagrees and tells Sam about a time when Sam looked bad as a pitcher, but the batter looked good. Oh, I just realized my favorite line is I should have put this line, but I forgot, so I'm gonna tell it now. Um, Carla tells Coach that what he said is stupid, and this might be the wrong episode. Scratch that. I'm not gonna rerun, cut things out. I'm trying to be pure in my podcast, even if I make mistakes. So we're just gonna keep on going now. I apologize. Dave returns with the news crew to do the interview. Sam tells him his plan for the interview. Dave starts the show using a fake voice. Diane asks, "What's wrong with his voice?" Dave is annoyed by the interruption. He continues looking at his hand for things to say. He wrote notes on them. I've actually seen the show a lot of. This is the very first time I noticed that when I was watching for this rewatch, that I noticed he had notes written on his hand. Sam tells him about pitching in Baltimore to a guy named Boog Powell. And I looked Boog up because I was curious if he was real since Sam's not a real player. And he was indeed real. He was the first base and left fielder, mainly for Baltimore Orioles. He played from 1961 to 1977. As of this podcast, he is still alive. A man comes in and tells Dave that John McEnroe has something to get off his chest. Dave stops Sam's interview and leaves to get the McEnroe scoop. I'm actually curious because I don't know much about John McEnroe or tennis or basically any sport, but baseball. I'm curious if there was something going on in McEnroe's life around the time of this that might have been the scoop. Just curious about that. Sam goes to the back. Diane asks Carla to watch her customers and follows Sam. She tells Sam to get out his emotions. He asks her to leave and she won't. She tells him he needs to scream. He yells, "Get out!" Then she tells him to get it all in one sentence and what the problem is. Sam looks at her in frustration. "You won't leave." Diane offers to share a time in her life when she felt the same feeling. He is not interested in her story. Diane tells him she didn't see a washed up ball player. She tells him to put his past behind him and face the future, to open his eyes what's in front of him and go for it. Sam grabs Diane and kisses her. She flips him over her shoulder onto the pool table. Does anybody know? Because I could not find this online, and I asked some cheers groups on Facebook, and I haven't gotten a response yet as of this recording. Does Shelley Long herself actually flip Ted Danson as Sam Malone onto the pool table, or was there a stunt double that was doing all of that? So if you could let me know in the comments, I would really appreciate that. Thank you. She asks if he is okay, and he explains that it was just a reflex kissing her. And then Sam tells her that it was the high point of his day being flipped. He explains that kissing her was an impulse. Diane says that nothing could ever happen between them. Sam thanks her and tells her he will feel better tonight, but will feel better tomorrow, but tonight he's going to feel bad. Diane starts to leave the pool room, but stops and asks about the booger, the guy from Baltimore. Sam tells her it's the boo, and that while unlike Diane, he never had 80 majors, but he does know when he's being patronized. Then he starts to tell her the story. Diane does not understand sports at all, so Sam is about to give up. Diane says, "Oh, good, now there's time for my story." Sam quickly continues telling the story about the guy from Baltimore. Meanwhile, Harry has returned and is doing a card trick with Coach and Norm at the bar when the credits come up. I gave this episode 4 out of 5 beer nuts. I thought the intro to Dave was pretty good, but what I thought really made this episode were the scenes in the pool room between Sam and Diane. I especially liked the last one, and I always love Harry the Hat too. The MVP for this episode is Shelley Long. She is great. Her whole go for it, and she's trying to get Sam to tell her what's wrong, and every time he answers, she won't leave, etc. She just totally ignores what he's talking about. So good. And if you're keeping track, this is, I think, the third year round, so 4. So this is now 3 out of 4 episodes Shelley Long has had the MVP for. Rhea Perlman was the other one. My favorite line after Diane flips Sam, he's looking up at the pool lights and he says, "Oh, look, one of my lights is out." The runner-up favorite line in the pool room conversation before the interview, Sam says, "You know who you should feel sorry for? The Flintstones." Diane says, "I beg your pardon?" Sam says, "Yeah, the Flintstones are opposite the 6 o'clock news. And when people find out that Sam Malone is on, Bedrock is going to be a lonely town." Here's a little known fact. Fred Dryer was considered for the part of Sam Malone. And like Dryer, who was a former professional football player, Sam was going to be an ex-football player instead of an ex-baseball player. Dryer appeared in 4 episodes of Cheers through Diane, one with Rebecca. He went on to play the title role in the crime drama series Hunter from 1984 to 1991. My question this week for the listeners: the stories of former athletes, former actors, former politicians, etc., anything with the word former in front of it, does that seem depressing to you like Diane says it does to her? Feel free to answer that in the comments or on any of the other medias that I'm about to share. If you like this episode, please like it, comment, and subscribe. You can also join the Facebook group, Cheers, that's one woman's opinion. You can also find us on Instagram at Cheers, one woman's podcast, one woman's opinion podcast. Or you can always email us at Cheers, one woman podcast at gmail.com. Thank you for listening to Cheers. That's one woman's podcast, one woman's opinion podcast. Next week is episode 5, The Coach's Daughter. This is one of my favorite episodes. Looking forward to it. Thank you and have a good day. I almost forgot. Monday will be the special podcast episode of the rewatching of To Grandmother's House We Go, which Rhea Perlman was in. Thank you again. Have a good day.